Hey, what's up, peeps? It's Mother's Day, so I'm making some dinner for Megan here, and she's asked me to make lasagna, and I'm going to try to do things a little differently than I've done it in the past. And I figured just kind of show you a little bit. You know, it is Mother's Day, and you know, she kind of deserves it, you know, without dealing with us and kind of following and doing whatever we want us to do. So I'm going to be in the process of doing a couple of things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up some zucchini. I peeled a zucchini, and then I'm going to kind of break up some sausage here. And then I'm going to do something a little different. Got a little ginger left here. I'm going to try a little bit of that. And so I'll probably get back to all of that type of stuff. Try to do something a little bit different. Like I said, I make too much ginger. I mean, ginger can kind of overpower, and who's ever heard of ginger in lasagna? But I figured, hey, let's give it a try. Ginger's a good thing to kind of clear the sinuses, and she's got all kinds of issues with her allergies this year. So maybe, you know, the meal can kind of clean her up a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to cut up some ginger here, get it nice. And the reasons one is I don't really feel like dealing with the skin, but the other thing is that, you know, when you have it in chunks, it doesn't necessarily. I kind of want the sausage flavor, not as much as the chunks of sausage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of deal with that here, and then I'm going to fry up the sausage with ginger. Now, as you can see, I've got several things going on right now. I'm kind of doing the sausage right now in the water I have boiling, getting ready for that. And I also have the teapot going because we're going to have our 4 o'clock tea, but I've got it on at a very, very low temperature. It's going to take a while for that to actually boil. But right now, as you can see, I kind of have the sausage going. Put a little olive oil in there. Kind of get the chunks up a little bit. You know, sometimes people use like sausage with onions or with garlic, kind of more of a stronger flavor. I mean, there's a good possibility that the sausage is going to overtake the ginger a little bit, and she's probably not even going to taste it. But like I said, I wanted to just give something a little bit different. What I'm going to do is, after I've kind of cut this up and browned it pretty well, then I'm going to put the zucchini in here and then have that kind of fried up as well. See, I put the zucchini in there, and I've also noticed while I'm doing this, I looked over and the water is boiling to get ready to put the lasagna noodles in to cook. Now I did the zucchini here in 2 ways. I cut it up a more of a finely cut, but then I kind of did a circle cut. You know, just to be a little different, like I said. Now when it comes to the lasagna noodles, what I tend to do is I put them in fresh like that, and I go back and forth on whether or not to I want to get the time here, whether or not to use the put some olive oil in there or put some salt in there and that sort of thing. It really, I go back and forth on it. Some people say it makes the noodles soggy, that sort of thing, and I go back and forth on it. So now I got the zucchini in here going real nicely. And when it comes to boiling the noodles, they usually give you a certain amount of time, but because I'm baking it, I tend to not have it boil as long as they say 10 to 12 minutes. I tend to go more on the 10 side and not the 12 side, because I think the noodles need to have a little bite to it, or al dente. And I think with the moisture of the meal, like the moisture coming from the zucchini, for instance, as well as everything else, I think and in baking, I think it tends to work well that way. So I tend not to boil the noodles as long as they tell you to because of that. And the noodles are boiling, the zucchini is looking kind of nice with the sausage. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the sauce and cheese mixture. So